Hey fellow Dashers, it's Dean again here with another piece of helpful advice to hopefully help you have a better dashing experience. The topic for this video is going to be based on the following statement, right? When you're out dashing, you represent the customer. You're not just a driver, you represent the customer. Now, let me tell you a little story which will explain what I'm talking about. Now, a few months ago, I went to go pick up an order from this Greek restaurant. And when I got there, I still had about 5 minutes left before the pickup time, and it wasn't ready yet. So I usually don't complain if I'm there early. I don't start worrying about it until the pickup time passes. And also when I look at the time left for drop-off, as that starts to shorten, and I have to drive faster afterwards. So anyway, so I'm waiting at the restaurant. It's a small private restaurant, and they make falafel, and they make all kinds of stuff. So I'm waiting there. There's really no other customers in the store, but the guy's behind the counter, and there's only two men. There's a son and his father, and they're making food off the grill, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, I'm waiting. So at one point I said, hey, do you have this order for, let's say, John? I don't know what the name was. Do you have an order for John? Is that being prepared? And he said, yeah, I'm going to get to that. So I said, okay. So I thought he meant like now he's going to get to that order. So then we get past the pickup time, and another 5 minutes goes by, and I said, excuse me, is this order going to be ready sometime soon? And he said something to me like, it'll be ready when it's ready, right? That's what he said to me. So I started to get angry, especially because I'm from Brooklyn, and I was 2 seconds away from jumping over the counter and smashing his face into his own grill. So I waited like 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes. Before you know it, it was like 15 minutes past the pickup time, and I've already exceeded the drop-off time, and this guy is still not dealing with the shit. So I said, hey, where is this order? I said, I need to get this order now. And he said, I didn't ask you to pick this up. You don't have to be here. Something like that, right? And then I looked at him and I said, if you guys can't handle taking Doordash orders, you made a promise to have this food ready by a certain time, and it's so incredibly late, right? I said, if I was the customer, you would never say that shit to me, right? So then he gets this stuff ready. Minute later, he hands me a bag. He's got this nasty look on his face, and I grabbed the bag and I said, thank you. And I started walking out the door, and I turned around and I looked at him and I said, and watch who the fuck you're talking to next time. And then I left. And guess what? I will never go back to that restaurant again, right? So that had me thinking many times with other restaurants. That never really happened with any other restaurant except for that one. I'm also very pleasant when I get there. I'm very patient. So I'm never a guy that kind of pushes them. I know that there are dashers that do that even before the pickup time. They're like, hey, where the fuck is my food? Why is my food late? And they start yelling at the people that work in the store. Right? So I have this video here that I made one time that talks about how to communicate with the people that work in stores. In case you want to take a look at that one, I'll post a link at the end of this video. How to communicate with the store workers so that everything is more pleasant, that you can get your food faster, makes your dash better, all that stuff. So now that made me think about that idea that I am not just some schmuck driver picking up food for somebody. When I go to a restaurant, I accept an order. Right? And I go to that restaurant, I am a representation of the customer. The customer, it's like the customer sent me to pick up their food. And the analogy that I thought about in my head was, let's say that, I got out of the shower, I'm in my pajamas, and let's say I wanted to get some chicken wings. I ordered it from Wingstop. And then I said to my 17-year-old son, hey, could you do me a favor? Can you run up the road and go grab my order? Right? So he would show up and say, I have a pickup for Dean. And then they would give him the food, right? He's not a DoorDasher. He's just the customer. Not in no circumstance would any store person treat him, my son, as some lowlife dasher. At least that's that's in their head. Somewhere, dashers get the stigma of being assholes and unintelligent and whatever else they think. You're a loser, like you're working for minimum wage. I mean, that's the kind of mentality that some people have when you go to pick up food at a restaurant, right? And until they get to know you and then they're friendly and whatever. But initially, that's what they get. Plus, they do deal with a lot of dashers that are just fucking assholes. There are a lot of them out there. But the majority of Dashers are friendly, nice. They're just trying to do a job. They're just looking for the pickup. Many of them are patient. Some people are not. But after a while, these store people start treating Dashers like everybody's an asshole, right? So I'll give you one more example. Is I went to Slim Chickens, and this was 2 Sundays ago, and I walk in there, and it is packed. I mean, every single table in the place was taken. There were people waiting for a table, and I walk in and I went, oh my God, I am never going to see this order. So I walk up to the counter. I look, first they have a cubby hole where all the orders are. There's nothing there. And I said to the person behind there, hey, do you have an order for whatever the name is? Mary. So they said, oh, and they look up and they see the tickets, and I see the ticket is like 4 or 5 tickets down. And she goes, yeah, we should be working on that soon. So then I stopped, and I went, all right, this is going to take a very long time. I think I'm going to unassign this order, but let me find out exactly how long it's going to take from the spot where that ticket is. So there was another young kid who apparently was the manager, and he was kind of standing there overhearing what I was saying. So I said to the girl, can you give me an idea how long it's going to take? He turns around, and he goes, it'll be ready when it's ready, or something like that. Like, we'll let you know when it's ready. And I said, all I want to do is find out how long it's going to take in case I want to unassign this order, and then someone else will go pick it up. And he goes, I understand that. You can do that if you want to, right? So then I pause, and I look at him, and I go, you still didn't tell me how long it's going to be. Again, I'm thinking, if I were a customer, and I ordered food, and I asked you how long it's going to be, there's no way that manager would have talked to me that way. He's only doing it because I'm a Dasher. So then I said after that, after he made that statement, I said something like, I go, you must be so angry at Dashers because I'm actually being very friendly. I am very friendly. Everybody likes me here, and you're already talking to me like you hate me. And he didn't know what to say because I'm being very forward with him. I'm communicating with him exactly what I'm thinking. He didn't know what to say. He just kind of shook his head, whatever, and then went into his stuff. Another girl came out and said, hold on, let me take a look. She went to look. She goes, it'll probably be about 6 or 7 minutes if you want to wait. Right? So I said, you know what? I'll just wait because I think the payout was pretty good. So I waited, and finally it was ready, and then I left. Again, same situation, right? So the thought in my head from now on is I am not a Dasher. I am not some driver. I am not some schmuck. I am the customer, or in at least as much as that I'm a representative of the customer. The customer places the order with the restaurant. They're giving that restaurant business. They're not going to get it. They're sending somebody else. Who? They're sending me, right? So I am there to represent the customer. So that's the attitude that you should have when you walk into these restaurants. Don't feel like, ooh, I'm just a driver. Ooh, I'm kind of like sub-level to the real customers. I know a lot of Dashers will talk about, I'm there trying to pick up food, but they're dealing with real customers. You are the real customer. You're not just a driver. You're a representation of the customer. The customer sent you to go get their food. You represent the customer, so you are the customer. So hopefully that'll change your attitude when you go to these restaurants. Don't feel like you're just the driver. You are the customer. So that's the statement. You represent the customer. And also taking that into consideration, you're also the customer, or you represent the customer in their best interest. So one last example is, I went to, I forgot the name of the restaurant. It's like a hamburger joint. And I went to go pick up the order. Now, she already had put some kind of sauce on the order, 2 things of, barbecue sauce. And when I got there, she had texted me, hey, can you pick up a few ranch dressings, right? So I asked the young kid that was behind there. He turns around and he asks like the chef who's behind the little chef wall. And he said, could you add a couple of ranch dressings on there? He goes, I already put the sauce in. I went, no, not the barbecue sauce, the ranch. He goes, what do you mean? I go, the customer just asked me to throw ranch in there. Can you do that? And he made a face, and he grabbed some ranch, and he puts it in the bag, and he hands it to the kid. And I said, thank you. And I walked out, and I went, again, if I was the customer, that fucking asshole would have been fired if I would have complained to his manager, right? Again, it keeps happening. Like you're a nuisance. I'm trying to deal, like in their head, they're thinking, I have to deal with my customers, and you're just a low-life driver, so you're irrelevant. I'm going to deal with my customers first. I am the customer when I go there. Do you understand? I may not be the one spending the money. I'm the customer when I show up. So not that you should yell, not that you should have a bad attitude when they do, but if you keep that in mind, when some of these store workers start to get a negative attitude, keep it in your mind. You don't let them speak to you that way, but just don't fight with them. Just let them know, say, hey, listen, I'm the customer, so I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. And they go, oh, they may reply with nothing. They may say, you're just the dasher. And you say, no, I'm the customer. The customer sent me to come and get their food. So if you could please have that ready soon, that'll be great. All right? So that's my advice for today. Hopefully you guys will find this useful. I know that's probably not something that most of you think about when you go there, but I want you to start thinking about it because it'll change the way you interact or the way you feel, right? Even when the way you feel changes the way you feel, so that'll change the way you interact with some of these stores, right? So hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, and you can check out this video over here, which I talked about earlier, okay, on how to communicate with customers. All right? I mean, how to communicate with the stores. So hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Take care. Have a good dash.